our guest has arrived in the back room. We don't want to keep him waiting. Stay with me. When we come back on the other side of this, Peace Man will join us.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Let's bring our special guest in this evening. There he is, Dana Lee Melfi, aka Peace Man. Welcome back, sir. It's been quite a while since we've had you on. You can't hear? You can't hear me.
Interesting.
So Dana can't hear me talking to him.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll see if we can get things operating here with Peace Man. We have information. We have some stuff here to share with you tonight. Hopefully Dana can get his audio working. We can hear him, but he can't hear me.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you.
We have audio. Okay. We're in business.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Dana Lee Melfi, aka Peace Man, welcome back, sir. It has been a long time since we've had you on the program. It's good to see you again.
It's been a minute, eh?
Yes. So, Dana, maybe you just want to introduce yourself again for people who maybe aren't familiar with you. We have new viewers all the time. Of course, you're probably best known to the people here as Peace Man, who stood during the Freedom Convoy, sort of not as part of the Freedom Convoy, but as an independent spirit there, standing for peace and for freedom for what was it, 25 days, I think, in total, right?
25 days, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
just introduce yourself. Let people know who you are.
So I'm Dana Lee Melfi. I was born in Ottawa. I've traveled our entire country and loved doing so for many years. I've worked for the government as a contractor and as an employee. Still am a current employee, but in the midst of suing them for 8 years now. This brings me to why I went to Ottawa. I'm going to make this very simple as I can, Rick, all the time here. Is the way that I was treated as a government employee and the accountability measures were taking a toll on me and many other people in this country when COVID came out.
Right.
So I used my skills to use our citizen tools, which is ATIP and things like this, to question the legal validity and ask for the documentation for that path at the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Before the convoy. This was 2021. So by December of 2021, I had already received confirmation that the DOJ has been breaking laws to not provide me with that information. So I felt when I seen all these Canadians coming out of their homes with their faces shown proud, and they wanted to have dialogue with the government.
Mhm.
And there were a lot of people, but one thing, I was very intrinsically involved, but not with the groups, not with, but as an individual that was studying these groups. And I copy information and I document it. And
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a movement of no leaders. That at the beginning, it was always there are no leaders. And so I went to Ottawa thinking, you know what? I have a couple skills. I have this documentation. I just
Yeah.
want to stand in peace silently and hold that dialogue with our government. That's not exactly what happened. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to try to guide this because you have so much information. It gets confusing for people. So much so that I think people kind of sit back and their eyes glaze over and they go, what are these guys even talking about?" Right. And honestly, you and I have been corresponding over the past few days, and I didn't know you were coming on tonight because I didn't get a response until we were actually on the air from you. So I'm not fully prepared for this. I'm going to try to weave through it anyway, the best I can. We may need to bring you back on maybe tomorrow to kind of finish this thing up because I really don't have all the documents ready to share with people tonight. But this is really important what you have to share. It really truly is, because what we're going to show you together is that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors here. There's a lot of politics, and there's sort of a facade, if you will, that has been placed over the whole freedom movement, what happened in Ottawa with the Freedom Convoy, many things going on at the same time. More than one thing can be true at the same time. Of course, there was this huge organic response where thousands of Canadians came out to protest the government mandates and government overreach at the time. That's all true, but there's also this really heavy political element to it. There's acts of people who are disingenuous, being dishonest, um, there for purposes other than that, and using the pandemic and using the mandates as an excuse or the issue of the day to further their
And using
political cause.
the convoy, using the
Right.
convoy.
Using the convoy. That is right. Exploiting it really is the word I think that is perhaps most appropriate. So we're gonna illustrate that for you, and we've Peace Man has the receipts on this stuff because he has been intimately involved in ways that very few people have been, because they've pulled you into the fold, right? Some of these folks, and tried to make you part of what they were doing.
Can I say something on
Of
that?
course, yes, yeah,
I never inserted myself anywhere. I was asked
yeah.
to go into to make speeches with Freedom Tour, asked with Dave live from the shed, asked to be in these communication rooms that aren't so legal, asked
Uh-huh.
to be everywhere.
Yes. And that's where we maybe can begin tonight, because what we have going on right now, and this, we have several stories developing even as we speak that are all relevant to what you're going to share with our audience tonight. Yes, it all fits together. You have the Chris Barber, Tamara Litch sentencing hearing that began today, continues tomorrow, with the Crown looking for 7 years for Litch, 8 years for Barber on a couple of charges, mischief for both of them, and then there's an additional charge of counseling to disobey an order, I believe, a court order, for Barber as well. Anyway, so they're looking for the extra year. So you've got this big media machine on the freedom side trying to portray them as sort of heroes, while at the same time you have information to show that there's a real political element to all of this that will really probably blow some people's minds.
Yeah, I want, before we continue, I want
Yeah.
people to know that if I fight for rights and freedoms, I also do that for people that I may not like or trust. I don't believe that these charges that Lynch and Barber have right now, um, I believe they should be thrown out.
Okay.
But there's other charges, there's other things in the mix that need to be investigated. And that's what's not happening.
Sure. So the thing is, through all of this, since the convoy, which goes back, how many years has it been now?
4
24
years
years.
or 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track at the time, but it's been a minute, as you said, as we kind of got into this. Uh, where should we begin with this?
Accountability takes time.
Yes, that's true for both government and sometimes protesters who are not really protesters, but maybe political activists with political agendas. So let's just the thing that maybe we should focus on here tonight is we've got are these secret meetings that were going on online with these people, because that really is at the heart of all of this, and it really illustrates what we're trying to show people here. And there's all kinds of documentation, but this is really where the rubber hits the road. You've got this sentencing hearing that's going on. You've got this ostrich story as well. And what's the third thing? It's ongoing.
Louder.
The James Bowder thing. Right. All of these things intertwine. They're all connected. All of them. It's the same people, same players, all of them kind of connecting down into the United States. You've got big oil money. You have the separatist movement out in Western Canada. And all of these things kind of come together. And you've got the JCCF, which there is documented evidence of them getting money from the U.S. side. You've got all these elements, and they represent Western interests. So anyway, to again, I wasn't really prepared for you to come on tonight, so I'm really not doing the best job with this tonight, Peace Man. But Dana, I'm gonna bring up this first of all, because you have this document that was shared in a meeting, a secret meeting. Well, I don't know if it was so secret. I guess these rooms were kind of secret, right?
Listen, you had to be invited by certain people to be there. And those certain people were JCCF lawyers that facilitated this meeting. This document, this exact document was shared by Eva after
Chipia,
Bathsheba.
lawyer for the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, which is the political legal organization that came forward and really kind of took control of through Freedom Corp, which is an extension of the JCCF, a legal organization that has been representing select people from the convoy in court since the charges being laid and arrests being made, but not all of the people, not all of the truckers, not all of the protesters, just certain people like Tamara Litch and Chris Barber.
Let's just correct you on something there.
Sure.
Freedom Corp, which is actually listed, I use the term Freedom Corp, but it's actually listed as Freedom 2022 Rights and Freedoms Corporation.
Right.
So I use Freedom Corp as a shorter version, just for the people so they know. And it is not an extension of JCCF. It is a completely separate corporation that was built.
Yes.
And there's several reasons why it was built, but we'll get into that once you ask me.
Okay. So this is a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, essentially, that was put together by, I think, Eva Chipiuk, one of the lawyers. And
Bathsheba made it. Eva
okay,
Chipiuk um, held the Zoom rooms about this, which I have
okay,
video of.
all right. And so this presentation was made just prior to the Public Order Emergency Commission hearings, which took place to review what happened after the convoy because of Justin Trudeau's decision to invoke the Emergencies Act. And that was a mandatory review that had to take place based on the legislation. And of course, that was an extensive review with
I
all
wouldn't say
kinds of
that.
people. Well, but yeah, okay, you could.
Yeah,
You when I say extensive, it went on for days and days. We covered it here. I ran every day of it from start to
two
finish. I
months.
I sat through all of it. Yeah, how was that? 2 months long?
2 months. Actually, the dates are on these documents.
Yeah. But prior to that, this was a meeting that was held online with with many of the key witnesses or stakeholders, if you will, on the freedom side. And as you can see here from this headline, what were they doing here, Peaceman? What were they creating? A
Well, I'll
narrative?
tell you, I was invited to a lot of tables to sit down over the last few years, and not once did I hear, let's hold them to the truth and accountability. It was always, how can we beat them with the propaganda? That's what this room was all about. It was all about propping two people up and silencing everybody else in the protest.
Right.
And it was about propping certain people up so that they get the donations, they get the fame, the glory, and then they travel the world saying they speak for you. Which I was on the ground 25 days, and not once did we see them or hear from them other than on their media, because they kicked out all mainstream media from any of their stuff.
Yeah.
It's
So
very, very
right. So what was going on here
planned.
was, yeah, so this is basically coaching with the lawyers, coaching the people who are going to be testifying on the freedom side prior to the Public Order Emergency Commission hearing under oath, that they're being coached on the talking points, as you can see here, the narrative that they want to make sure that they all kind of adhere to, so that the storyline, the story that they want told, is shared through the testimony. Is that about accurate, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's definitely, they are prepping people, because I watched it happen,
Mhm.
like with somebody that wasn't in their group, but when the EA inquiry started, Maggie Hope Braun entered their group. And that's when you see a change from her stuff as well, because it adopted these narratives.
So what you saw during the inquiry is on the freedom side, and I'm not saying that anything necessarily illegal was done here. There's a line that the lawyers are walking here, where if they cross over it and encourage people to say something that's a lie, that would probably be illegal. I'm not saying they've done that, but what they are doing is they're trying to manage the testimony so that a particular point of view is emphasized here
Well,
and amplified. Go ahead and just give me your comments on this, because you were in this meeting, right? So is that a game? Is
well,
that kind
well,
of what this was?
uh, well, let me ask you a question. You
Mhm.
you say that you're not saying anything illegal happened.
I
Me,
don't know.
I'm saying different. I'm saying definitely something,
Okay.
because I was there and a witness,
And
and
let me stop you
they
for a
wanted
moment.
to make me an accomplice.
The reason I'm saying I say I'm not saying anything necessarily was done illegally here because I don't want to make
Yeah.
allegations that I can't back up with proof,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because we don't want to accuse somebody
No.
of something we can't prove. Nevertheless, there are maybe some questions about bail conditions and that maybe are a little bit foggy here for some couple of
Well,
people.
no. If you, um, I made a post on X today that shows some more stuff that you didn't have there, Rick, and it
Okay.
shows the dates on which they are making certain comments and doing certain things inside the room. And the dates go from October till late November.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, both Chris and Tamara were under court ordered conditions not to communicate or plan anything with any of the certain um, influencers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This room was facilitated by JCCF lawyers and invited the people that were not supposed to be in communications with Tamara or Barber. So I'm saying that they think they're above the law by doing things like this. But really, once I was in there, it was just to silence people that didn't jump on their bandwagon. And I'm sorry I didn't. I was there. I entered the room thinking it was great. But the very first message I seen come up was, "This is Fight Club."
Mm-hmm.
Now you tell me, what does Fight Club mean to
Well,
you?
fight, yeah, I mean, Fight Club, they say what's the phrase? You don't talk about Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
And what
And
happens if you do in the movie?
I haven't seen the movie, but I think you get yourself into a bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, you're ended. Put it that
Yes.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
not afraid of them.
unalived. Maybe unalived if you
Yeah.
talk about Fight Club. Not to say that anybody's made any death threats here, but they call this Fight Club, and this is just one meeting of what they had many meetings, long, ongoing online
Uh,
meetings with Fight Club. Is
Rick,
that what's going on?
I have over 2 months of uh, this meeting
Mhm.
copied in several ways. One is just a video scrolling through the entire thing, which is 40 hours long.
Okay,
Okay. That's quite substantial.
a 40-hour long online meeting. Is that
Well,
right?
it's online communications group. I recorded it as
Mhm.
40 hours. That's how many communications they were doing. Just think
Okay.
about how many
Are we talking
in
about
that
one
time.
40-hour long session or a series of them amounting to 40 hours?
No, it's a signal group.
Group. And it just stays open?
It's a and it stays open. So that means that lawyers are not always present because they can't be, and
Mhm.
people can still communicate, right?
Yeah.
So there's very special nuances to this that I would like to have the information up on the screen, but we have I worked today on this post because there's a lot of stuff out there about the Chris and Tamara barber show today and recently, but and there's a lot of people putting out all these beautiful long threads about what they did and stuff. But if you try to offer a different opinion and show the receipts, you will get attacked. There is no civil discourse. There's no dialogue over division. That's Eva's show, by the way. It's called Dialogue Over Division, but they
Mhm.
never have anybody on the show, So think of it that way.
Interesting. So you have these ongoing meetings. Who was in these meetings, these secret meetings? I think you
Well,
even
I can
used the
show
word
you a quick
clandestine.
list.
Sure.
I can show you a quick list.
Of
Just go
course.
to YouTube.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I can email you a link to that YouTube.
I've got the YouTube. I've got it here. Is this the screen recording
Okay.
that you want to show from Signal?
Uh,
I've got that.
sure. And
Does that
Yeah,
help?
so just fast forward to just where it shows the list of people.
Let's see here.
I think it's about 3/4 because I talk a little bit about this first.
I'm not sure where we're at.
Uh, let me.
Back,
I'll
forward.
find it. I'll find it exactly here. Hold on. Give me one quick second here.
I'll tell you what, let's take a little break. I need to take a break anyway. So we'll come back.
Okay.
You find out the timestamp, and we'll come
Yep.
back and get it all set up for people when we come back on the other side.
The world is watching.
We're back. Approximately what time?
2:22.
2:22. Okay. 2:22. Is that where we need to be? Okay. Here we're
Yep.
going to scroll. All right. So these are the people who are in this meeting. And this is a fairly, well, this is just the group, right? These are the people who are all associated with it. And I think some people are going to recognize a lot of these names. As you can see. So Eva Chipiuk, the lawyer. Bethan Nodwell, I'm not sure who that is. Oh, and there's
She's the Freedom Fighters Canada that went over to the UK to talk to Christine Anderson. That's who Beth Ann Nodwell is.
Okay, Andrew Lawton, who is now a Conservative member of Parliament and was involved with was True North, the media outlet at the time, right? Andy Lee, another Conservative influencer. Anita, I don't know Anita who. Do you know who that would have been?
She's a big time writer.
Okay. We have
Benita Peterson.
Mm-hmm. Cam James, don't know who that is. Candace Loist, proud member of the Fringe, don't know who that is. CB, Chris B, don't know who that is.
Chris Barber.
Ah, Chris Barber. I see. Yeah, I do see his little thumbnail in there. Clyde Do Something. Chris Vleck, don't know him. Chris Dacey, I do know Chris.
Chris Vleck is one of the directors on Freedom Corp, by the way, I think.
Okay. Danny B, that would be Danny Bulford.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's from what's that? Police on Guard? Is that that's the organization, right?
Yeah.
David Whitehead, who's that? Don't know.
He is a writer. So is Derek Smith.
Yeah, Derek Smith. We know Derek. He's been on the program. He's been very friendly here. He's the guy who came out with the book, How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom, or I think it was, right? Yeah. So Derek's been on the program a few times. Always found to be friendly, but there he is, conservative influencer in these meetings as part of this network, right?
By the way, most of the people in this group had at the time over 200,000 viewers on a constant basis. That's what one of the, unless you are a political writer or influencer, and there's also military intelligence in this room.
Or former military intelligence. Diego, I don't know who Diego is. Drew, I think I know who that is from V4F, right? Probably. Efren Oswaldo Flores Monsanto, have no idea. Somebody G, Greg W, Heather. Oh, there's Jody Ledgerwood. Who else do we have here?
Wait, go back up. Joshua Bigger. Now he's got a huge following that he uses to attack me big time. Keith Wilson. the other lawyer.
The lawyer, yeah, Kristen, somebody.
Ma- Matthew Horwood, a writer for mainstream media.
Hmm,
Which remember that these people didn't want to have anything to do with mainstream media, right?
interesting. And yet there they are. A lot of people that you think are on one side or the other are actually not so much of an
And
enemy
and
of
here
that side as you think, right?
and here we have Melissa McGee, which I had never met ever,
Mm-hmm.
and wrote horrible things about me. And if you watch the videos that Barber and Lynch put out about reading mean tweets,
Mm-hmm.
they're using her phone, and she's a pastor sitting in the back seat of the car.
Mm.
Patriot Smoothie,
Yeah.
which is now Right Blend,
Mm-hmm.
because remember, they change their names often, some of these people, on purpose.
Yeah. And there's Rachel
Rohan,
Rohan. Yeah. That's War Campaign, right? The
Rohan, yes. And you notice what happened to him, the same thing that happened to you, is his systems were attacked and many
mm,
other things too. And he's the only other one, other than me, that will speak out against this group
mm-hmm. Rob Primo.
publicly.
Yeah. Rupa
Rupa,
Subramanya. I don't know Rupa.
hundreds of thousands of followers this lady has. She wrote the foreword on Tamara's book. Okay.
Yeah.
But she is now propping up Carney.
Interesting. Ryan Garrettson. Don't
Now,
know him.
I honestly love Ryan Garrettson. He still to this day will respond and love some of my posts because I think he's seen what was happening in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that not everybody here is guilty, by
Right.
the way.
Yeah. Guilt. Yeah, that's right. I mean, just being in here doesn't mean you're guilty of anything, but it does
Well, you
show
are an accessory.
if you're even aware that there's a crime being committed or anything improper being. I mean, that's a little bit. But
Well, they
anyway,
discuss that in the group.
do they? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And when
Shadow
you say to
Davis.
discuss that, what is that you're talking about? They're discussing what?
Actually, your current MP, Andrew Lawton, has publicly admitted to being in this group, by the way, on his own social media.
Uh-huh.
And inside the group, I just posted today a screenshot of him saying, I see we're in the presence of counsel, trying to make it as if we're not doing anything illegal because we're in
Yeah.
the presence of counsel. But that's not
Because
necessarily true.
because the court order for a couple of the people with bail conditions was such that they could be in the presence of each other under certain circumstances, and counsel needed to be present if that were the case. And so I think that's why they're saying in the room, I see we're in the presence of counsel.
But you see Tamara and that directly communicating with other people in the room, which they're not supposed to be.
Mhm.
Sean Newman has his own podcast that he's tried to get people to watch. And you see, what happens in this situation, my friend, is they put a lot of people into play, and they seen who sticks. Okay.
Mhm.
And Tamara, because she was put in place of money, she stuck. She actually failed at everything that people put into her control, but people never mention that. Okay. And then we see Tamara next. Stu, one of the original convoy organizers. Thomas O'Connor, big advertiser. Tom Marazzo, first to capitalize or second to capitalize off of the freedom movement with a book that does not tell the truth.
and Tom Marazzo, who's been on the program multiple times here. Um, John O'Sullivan, Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson, uh, Christian
Now, I'll
influencer.
say something about Laura Lynn.
Mhm.
I have known her since I was a teenager, okay?
Mhm.
And known about her when she was in broadcasting and different things, okay? I was watching her show because um, I I liked some of her views. I don't necessarily have to agree with everything you say or they say, but if I like some of your views, I watch your show. She knew that this was not right, and she preaches, literally preaches every day, and knowing that she is doing wrong.
So when you say that this isn't right, what do you mean by that? What's wrong with these people meeting in this, what you call it, well,
Well,
they called
okay.
it a clandestine group. What were they doing wrong, Peaceman?
What they were doing wrong is that they had a narrative that they wanted to set to make two people their hero. They wanted to lift up two people. That's what this room was for. It was done by JCF lawyers just to prop these people up in the EA and stuff. And they want you to think that the EA had
The
citizen
Emergencies Act.
um, the Emergencies Act inquiry had citizen representation. But no, all we had was Freedom Corporation representation. We had nobody standing up for the citizens, or
Mhm.
if I wasn't agreeing with what they did, there was nobody standing up because you had to somehow get picked to be in there, right?
Yeah.
Now I got picked to be at the EA. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can show you the emails from the
Well,
commissioner
I believe
where
you. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they say, "Yep, we'd love your information." My
Mhm.
next email was, "Well, I have remember I wore a camera on my head
Yes.
when
Yeah.
I was standing there? Well,
Mhm.
nobody has seen any of that footage. I could have tried to capitalize on that footage or do whatever these other people did, but
Mhm.
it is evidence." So I said to the EA, "Well, I'll give you my evidence, which is 40 hours of video." And which not in conjunction with the other 40-hour video, just
Mhm.
totally different. And it shows the bad actors on the street, that we never seen Freedom Corporation anywhere down on the street, police interactions that show illegal actions, things like this. Well, the very next email I got from the commissioner was, we're out of room. Sorry. And we only have limited time. Thank you very much. If you want to upload your evidence separately
Mhm.
without your involvement, and they wanted me to send an NDA,
Mhm.
non-disclosure agreement, as well, which I wouldn't do. I
Oh yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
able to speak. I want to be able to speak wherever I want to be able to speak. You
I
know,
do
you could,
remember people talking about being required to sign the NDA prior to testifying. I understand the procedure and I understand the concerns, which were overblown, frankly, in my view, by some people who were making legal assessments without really being qualified to do so. The reason the NDA was required was so that people wouldn't be sharing evidence in public prior to the commission hearing, but then it would be presented during the hearing, and then afterward, you could you release all the information later.
it's
That's
funny you
so
mentioned
yeah,
that
yeah,
because you asked me what else are they doing in this room.
yes,
Well, Eva, as she's receiving files in the as one of the defense lawyers, she's sharing it in the room before it is publicly available on the commission's website.
okay.
Okay, that's against their NDA
Mm,
as lawyers, which is against ethics.
yeah. So what you've really got going on here, this is, a number of points to really pick up on here, as a result of this information coming to light. But I think it's I think that the main thing to consider here is that what we think we're seeing through the inquiry after the Freedom Convoy, what we're seeing play out in public is not just like organic, spontaneous, or truthful testimony from people. This is a managed narrative. It's a story that we're being told, a story that has been crafted in order to manage people's perceptions of or perception of the convoy, of the freedom movement, of the response of government to craft the narrative, to tell people a story, not just let people come in and just answer questions and just be truthful, honest, and transparent.
Also, Rick, I uh, I never wanted to become somebody. I don't need money, things like this. And this is not what I wanted to be doing, was focusing on that. I wanted to focus on my accountability measures that I am holding to the Department of Justice, to
Mhm.
OPS, Ottawa Police Service, the LECA, Law Enforcement Complaints Agency, and things like that. But because this group is so large and far reaching, they use all of those people against me to make sure nobody is watching
Yeah.
or questioning. So
So
it is very deeply rooted.
and here's the other thing that I've come to realize. You have this group and sort of the people at the center of this element of the freedom movement criticizing all the time the mainstream media, saying don't listen to them, you can't trust those guys, they're just bought and paid for by the government. And yet what are
Oh,
we seeing here? We're seeing just sort of, sorry, are you okay there?
yeah, I broke the leg on my chair.
Oh
No
my
worries.
goodness, you okay?
No, it's just the wheel, I think. It was
Okay.
weird. Sorry. Sorry.
But what we're seeing here is a group of influencers who people see online and think that these people are journalists and giving them news, the other side of the story, when in reality, what you've got is a team of media influencers that have been put together, organized in order to manage, amplify, and distribute the narrative.
And many things throughout this time, remember, time reveals. So many things throughout this time, and I'm going to use one example: Tupac Church, downtown Ottawa, the
I
clown
remember
show.
there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to link Convoy to the clown show. They had no way to do that. So who shows up? Rosie Convoy, which was created only in later 2022, but she gets a two-page front page spread on the newspaper, and not one other protester in Canada got that type of thing, and they use that to target people. That story, if you
Mm.
read that story, so they linked Convoy to the Tupac through her name, Rosie Convoy, and Rosie's Road Trip. It was really weird. But these are the distractions that are going on all the time because they don't want you to focus on the beginning, how it started, how it now. I shared with you a page from the EA inquiry, um, and if you go to the EA inquiry website and scroll all the way down, you can do
Yeah.
a,
This
a,
is
a
why
video
I wish
request.
I'd known you were coming on because I could have had these materials prepared. And so
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
going to, you
yeah.
know what I'm
We
going
can
to,
do that.
yeah, and you know what I'm going to propose to you is let's leave it here at this point for tonight. Tomorrow,
Hmm.
I will get all the material. I'll talk to you through the day tomorrow. We'll get all the material that we need to have to illustrate the points that you're really trying to make here. I'll have it all here so we can share all of that with everybody, and we will more be able to explain to people more clearly what it is that you'd really like them to focus on and understand, because there are a few different elements to this story, things that I think it's important for the public to be aware of, certainly our audience, especially when people are being asked to donate money all the time, when they're being asked to support certain people, when you've got politicians involved in some of these groups. You see uh, political motives behind a lot of this, and at a time when our national sovereignty is being threatened, the future of our country is on the line, and you see all these other stories that sort of intertwine. You see links to this, tentacles going across the border, US influence, big oil money, Western separatism, all of it coming together in a way that really is hurting our country in many respects, and hurting people, individuals. And
Wexit, the Maverick Party,
yeah,
TBOF. I
well,
mean, they're all linked.
yeah. Um, and this also shows that it's not as simple as I'm with the conservative party, or I'm with the liberal party, or I'm a liberal or a conservative or a this or a that. No, this stuff is not black and white. You have different people from different parts and different political groups intertwining, and it's pretty messy. It's a little bit difficult to understand. That's why we need to get these documents highlighted in just the right way so that you can understand why this is important, and why what you think you're seeing with regard to the politics playing out right now, it's not entirely what you think that it is. Fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Can I get you to come back tomorrow night, Dana?
Absolutely. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share tonight's excerpt here, and I'm going to ask more viewers to come tomorrow. And
Excellent.
in the chat, put in your real questions, not hate, not
Yeah.
speculation. Put in real questions. Now, I can't see your chat, but you will be able to see it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this is the main point. Ask questions. Otherwise, like, I'm sorry, but I don't just blindly follow the news, the
Yep.
government, the influencers, or anybody else.
Me
I
either.
go out and look for my information. I do official requests through government documentation. I do requests for even Freedom Corporation from Corporations Canada. I requested their information and received it. That's
Yep.
available to you now
Yeah.
because I make it available on my website.
And I have to say, I mean, it's taken me quite a while to go through the material you've been sending me in a way that I can make sense of it. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to help to try to guide this and focus the conversation so people can understand it, so that people can really clue in and understand the information that you have been trying for a while to share with people in a way that they can comprehend. That's what we're going to do. And you're the key, my friend,
And
to
I've tried to do it
really
through
understand.
civil discourse. And,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
thank you. But I have tried to do it through civil discourse, regardless of what you hear from your influencers, like don't listen to him and all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Just look at it first before you make up your mind. That's all
Yeah.
I ever ask.
Yeah. And,
Not
and,
one
and
person has challenged me.
yeah. And again, just for legal purposes, um, any allegations that may have emerged from this conversation tonight have not been proven in court. I'm not even saying that people have necessarily done anything illegal, but there are questions here, real legitimate questions. And one of the biggest questions I have is, as I'm looking at some of the stuff that you've uncovered here, Dana, I'm wondering why our government and why police haven't taken action on some of these issues
And
prior to
and
this.
they do not have any excuse because during the Lynch and Barber trial, before their conditions got removed last March, I showed up to their trial.
Yeah.
I had all of the information on a 64 gigabyte SD card. Right in front of them, I handed it to the Crown Attorney. The Crown Attorney had it taken away by the Ottawa Police. The Ottawa Police then called me and had a meeting with me the very next day with OPP.
Mhm.
Okay. They have the information. Why was none of it in the trial?
All valid questions. All I can say is we're going to
And if
dig
you
into
want to
this.
call me some type of fed or rat or whatever we hear from LaFosse,
Mhm.
if you want to try to do that, just think if you were in my position and you're invited into an illegal atmosphere, the only way you're not an accomplice is if you give the information to the authorities. I trust in my legal rights, even though it's been used against me. I still trust in it because I beat them, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Which you can show that too. That's a huge document, but
Yeah.
well, 17 pages.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's not necessarily that the system is corrupt. It's that you need to know how to use the system.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. That's
Exactly.
right.
And you cannot be afraid. You
That's
cannot be
right.
afraid. You cannot back down from bullies and online
Yes.
harassers and parts of this group that are meant to silence any Canadians, any dissenting voices of their narrative. That's what CBC does for the Liberals.
Mhm.
It's the same thing, it's the same playbook. And I know
Mhm.
very well because I've worked in the government. I'm security cleared 28 years. You don't, my signature is on buildings like the Parliament buildings, DOJ, D&D, War Museum, Diefenbunker, every laboratory in Ottawa, the bomb testing facilities. My signatures, how do you think my signature got in all those buildings? Because I was a trusted source. I was a trusted worker, and I have not ceased to be that worker.
All right. We're going to leave it there. Some of these other news stories I'd had teed up for you got pushed aside because we brought Peace Man on, but I'm going to let you chew on that and digest it overnight, and then everybody come back tomorrow, and Peace Man will start dropping more truth bombs uh, at 7 p.m. Eastern on the flip side. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out as we try to get everybody a little closer to the truth. See everybody back here tomorrow. Oh, I need to find what song do you want to hear tonight?
Hey, can you play a song that was just recently made for me?
Well, actually, I can't. I've got certain songs queued up that we play every night at the end here. Um,
Oh,
I'll just
it's
you
interesting.
yeah,
It's on
it's
my
a
YouTube.
all right. Anyway, I'll see you guys back here 7 p.m. Eastern on the flip side, and I'm gonna go walk Cosmo, my best friend. See ya.